Right, moving into the next segment, and we're going to be doing our predictions for the upcoming UFC 223 card. We've got Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
What a fight.
Wow, that is the main event, but we're going to be doing the main card picks only. We would do the prelims, but thinking about it when it moves into future events like UFC Hamburg, and we're like, oh, wait a second, we're just predicting random fights
Tough
now.
to pick fights for people that you don't know.
Yeah, like Lena Landsberg versus Gina.
Yeah.
You
have to do some serious research.
So going into the main card, then the first fight of the evening on pay-per-view will be Raging Out Iaquenta versus the Irish Dragon Paul Felder. This is fight of the night.
Can't disagree. Paul Felder fighting once again, stepping away from the commentary. He's doing commentary now, or whatever he's doing, stepping away from that. Be interested to do. Obviously, both guys up for it. How do you have it going?
I really like Paul Felder. He is one of my favourite fighters.
Cool.
That knockout of Stevie Ray is so brutal. The big elbow, wow. Iaquenta's coming into this fight ranked number 10. Again, controversy surrounds him with his contract. Hating Dana White. If going into fight week they focus more on the contract situation, I think it's going to be tough for Iaquenta. And I really want to see Paul Felder win this fight. I think Paul Felder could be something really good for the UFC. The way he fights is just exciting.
Yeah.
That's why I got it down for tip for fight of the night. Iaquenta has got power. He has got precision. And Iaquenta is a tough fighter as well.
He is.
So I think it's a really difficult fight to call. But I'm going to go for Paul Felder by split decision.
Now, for me, I think I remember Iaquenta having signed a new contract. So I feel like that's not as big of an issue as it was in the past. Also, I think because he signed a new contract, he's got something to prove. I feel as if he's going to go in there hungry. I feel as if he's going to go in there wanting to show Dana White, who he's clearly not getting along with, why he should get the money that he feels like he should deserve. And Paul's obviously doing his commentary thing now. So you've got to question whether this guy's already got a backup plan as to what's happening post-MMA. Whether he's 100% dedicated anymore.
Hey, you've seen his acting in It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, is Al... I mean, obviously, Al's doing... What's Al doing? Houses? Some random stuff with houses?
Yeah. Selling houses, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Al gets it done by...
He's even done that in his last fight, didn't he, with Diego Sanchez? He's like, oh, yeah, if you're selling a house, call me.
I mean, you've got people watching. I mean, if you're on a big card, you've got 200,000 people watching, you might as well shout out... your business, but I think he gets it done by KO/TKO. But
so
I think he finishes him.
So just confirm, I'm going Paul Felder split decision.
Iaquenta KO/TKO, but finishes him.
Next round is another fight that I have someone who is very likable. Michael Maverick Chiesa is going to be taking on Anthony Showtime Pettis. Chiesa is such a nice guy.
Seems like it.
He loves his mother.
We all know.
He's going into this fight ranked number 9. Pettis, the former champ, going in ranked number 12. I think this could be a massive fight for Chiesa because if he wins this one, he's got to win over a former champ.
Big name.
As well, he has come out and said that him and Kevin Lee at the Performance Center have been talking about a rematch in July potentially.
It's not a bad fight.
To headline one of the cards during fight week. I think if Chiesa gets it done here, I think Kevin Lee is the next fight for him. Yeah. And I see Chiesa getting it done. I think Pettis always seems to struggle with fights like this. He struggles when he has a fight. Yeah, when he has a fighter that's going to grind out the victory. Yeah. Chiesa is fantastic on the ground. In my opinion, probably one of the best grapplers in the UFC. Very, very underrated. But it's the way that he takes people out. It's the way he's just a fantastic fighter. Former Ultimate Fighter winner as well. So I'm going to go with Chiesa to get the sub in round 3.
No, I agree. I think that this is Chiesa's jumping off fight. I feel as if he win. I think that he wins this fight against sub. I don't think he's going to knock out Anthony Pettis. I mean, Anthony Pettis
he'll do some cartwheel
would very happily be standing up with him. I think Pettis is. I mean, he's struggling a little bit at the moment. He's on a 1-fight lose streak. I think he
lost to Poirier.
He won his previous fight and then lost a bunch of fights.
I'm pretty sure he's 2-5 in his last 7.
It's just not going good for him at the moment. Chiesa's obviously got. He's hungry. He wants that rematch.
And Chiesa's still young.
He is still young, and he's one of those guys that, like you said, he's likable, so it's tough to pick against the guy.
And if you take away the controversial loss in the last fight, he's on a big win streak.
Yeah.
If you take away that loss, and if you look at his losses inside the octagon, 1 second to go against Jorge Masvidal, which a lot of people consider a tough loss for him to take because he tapped in that last second. He got a TKO cut against Joe Lozon, so was never properly beat by Lozon. And even Dana White has come out and said that it was a bullshit decision. And then that last fight got beat by Kevin Lee despite never getting beat. So it's a crazy way. If you look at his career, he's never, apart from the Jorge Masvidal fight, never properly been beat.
But yeah, no, I think he gets it done. Submission. If I had to pick a round, probably the second round. I think they probably both come out a little bit tentative in the first, and then he sort of takes over in the second. Does what he wants to do.
Next fight is a very interesting fight because it's not really been hyped up as much.
No.
The UFC Twitter account hasn't really mentioned it at all. The fight fans haven't really mentioned it at all. You've got Renato and Moicano taking on Calvin Kattar. Moicano, I'm pretty sure in his last fight, lost to Brian Ortega, but before that, beat Jeremy Stephens, who is now one of the top contenders.
Yeah. Not a tough loss. Brian Ortega's fighting for the title now. But I think Calvin Kattar's on a crazy winning streak, if I'm correct. I think he's on, I want to say 9, maybe wrong. May have just pulled that number out of thin air. He's ranked 13 to Moicano's 11, which in featherweight, again, featherweight's like lightweight. It's one of those divisions that's very heavily loaded with talent at the moment. Very tough guys. But yeah, so if I'm going to make a pick, I think Calvin Kattar or Kattar, I have no idea again how you pronounce that name. I think he probably gets it done. If I'm being pushed, probably by decision, I feel like.
So he's got 8 decision wins in his career. His 2 losses, submission and decision.
What's his streak on? I hope I got it.
His streak is a very long streak. It's gone so far, it's gone past that other page on Sherdog. So
I said 9. I don't think that's far off. I think it's probably close to that.
But he hasn't really fought an elite fighter that I think Renato Moicano is at. His probably only big victory that you can consider would be against Andre Fili. Just trying to think of his name. Andre Fili, who we know is a good fighter. So yeah, I think, well, I say he's a good fighter, he's an inconsistent fighter.
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, Renato Moicano gets the victory in this one. I think he decisions him. Yeah, I think Moicano's going to get the win.
So we're switching it up. We're picking different fighters. Look at that.
Co-main event is up next. You've got Rose Namajunas taking on Joanna Vs Namajunas, the champ, probably had one of the biggest upset wins in UFC history. Her and Matt Serra. A lot of comparisons have been going on at the moment. A lot of people have been saying about Namajunas potentially. Is it a Matt Serra type of situation I've been reading?
Not good for her if that's the case.
Do you know what? I don't see it going that way. I see Rose beating her again.
Do you?
Yeah, I see Rose getting a decision win.
I think that this fight, Joanna wins, and we get the third match.
Oh, okay.
I think we get 3 fights out of this. I think that Joanna decisions her. I don't think she finishes her. Just because it's tough. At 115 pounds, extra weight is tough to get. Unless
we saw the knockout power by Namajunas, which is
whoa. You did, and that's obviously adds to why that fight was so crazy. The fact that most people thought if she wins, she'd probably sub her or decision her.
I don't remember if I told you, but when we were discussing the fight originally when it happened, I was picking Rose.
You definitely were. I
really like Namajunas. Like I said earlier, with the Pat Barry situation,
she's an enjoyable fighter. She's an enjoyable fighter. But like I said, man, although Joanna's trash talk is cringy, I'm a stickler for trash talk, man. I just love it. I don't know what it is about it. I love it. So you got Rose?
Yeah, I got Rose by decision. Decision or sub late on. It's one or the other. I can't think.
I got a Joanna decision. I think Joanna does Joanna stuff and just shows why she's one of the greatest fighters in the world at the moment. Shows why she's one of the greatest fighters in the world, why she's an amazing...
and why she's ranked in the pound-for-pound rankings and Rose is...
Exactly. Exactly.
Main event time, Tony El Kukui Ferguson is taking on Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov.
Khabib Tiramisu Nurmagomedov. Big fight.
If this fight happens... Like I said, it is going to be one of the best skill matchups the UFC has ever seen.
Yeah.
But I'm really terrified it's not going to happen. So
as is everyone else.
A controversial pick is it's not going to happen. Or a controversial pick probably it is going to happen.
Yeah. It's funny that one that you could say that it is going to happen and people are like,
no, it's not.
Let's hold back on that.
But yeah, I think it's a really difficult fight to pick. You've got Kukui, who is one of the most awkward fighters on the ground that you can fight. He throws submissions out from whatever position he's in. And then you've got Khabib, who is,
Khabib,
Apart from the Abel Trujillo fight, he has been flawless.
He just grinds people out. I mean, he not grinds them out, sorry, he just presses them out of fights. The guy is something else, and that's why I've got him for this fight. I just think he's an absolute animal. I think he's probably the best lightweight in the world. I think he gets it done. I think he finishes him.
Yes, see, now and that's where we're going to go different, because I think the complete opposite. I think Tony Ferguson finishes him. I think Tony taps him. I think he gets one of them ankles. We know Khabib's had injuries before, and we know he struggles with weight cuts. So say Khabib struggles with this weight cut. Say he gets tired late on or early on.
Yeah, it
Tony,
could be a tough night
with his awkward way that he fights,
his guard and everything.
Sweeps in, Khabib could do anything. Could you imagine?
My thing is just that I feel as if Kevin Lee had some success, not much. He obviously ended up losing the fight against Tony Ferguson. I think Khabib's just on a different level to these other people. I think he just gets it done. He puts on too much pressure. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyways.
Either way, I think the fight is so difficult to call that it is the biggest fight the UFC could make.
I think both picks that we've made, I think most people would disagree with them. I think most people would think it's a decision.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, because you can't. Khabib's never been in the situation where you're like, oh, Khabib's going to get finished here.
Yeah.
Well, apart from potentially the Michael Johnson fight with the stand-up when he was getting caught by him, and could that be something Ferguson uses? Because Ferguson on his feet stood with Edson Barboza.
He did, but the thing with Ferguson also gets caught.
Yeah.
He gets caught, so I think Khabib, he's awkward. Khabib's not orthodox either. He's awkward with his strikes as well. It doesn't look great most of the time, if we're being honest.
It's just to set up the takedown.
Yeah, it is basically. I mean, and on the ground he's another beast. So it'll be an interesting one to watch. I don't think it's going to be a crazy barn burner.
I think it's going to be...
But it's going to be a fun one.
Everyone's going to be on the edge of their seat, waiting for what's going to happen. Because you know at any time Ferguson could whip his legs up, get an armbar, whip his legs up, hit a Darce choke.
Exactly.
That...
I mean, people that watch MMA, the quote-unquote hardcore fans, we know what it is. We know what it's about. We know that this is the only fight that you have to make.
It's the fight.
There's a reason that even though it's fallen through a bunch of times before.
I think it's the 6th time it's been rebuilt.
Even though that's the case, you have to make this fight. No one was batting an eyelid when they said that they're going to make this fight. Everyone was down for it.
When it was, Tony Khabib, UFC 223, biggest card.
Cool. You were just like, that has to be the fight.
So, yeah, I think Ferguson wins. I think this sets up a massive fight with McGregor over in Ireland, Croke Park. Do it. I don't care.
Or Khabib in Russia, fella.
Khabib
in Russia.
Could you imagine?
Either way, it's a good
McGregor would die. I think McGregor would be taken up by the government before the fight even happens.
Yeah, he's poisoned or some shit. I might have to look into it. He's meant to be at the fights though.
Oh, okay.
I
really hope. Can you afterwards? McGregor comes into the octagon, stares whoever down.
It'll be awkward. Just because I think Tony for me is a little bit cringy. So if Tony wins and he's in there, yeah, I hope he doesn't have the sunglasses in. We made fun of Kevin Lee's sunglasses earlier. Tony's Oakleys are something else. He needs to get rid of them. Let's be real. I mean, the Oakleys, the chin, not the chin strap. I'm sure he's had a chin strap in the past. The goatee, the blonde highlights. I mean, it's a tough look.
Well, I can't wait to see Tony come in with that blonde streak in his hair.
Could be just be shaven.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But some mental news is Khabib could become the first Muslim to ever win a title in UFC.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know that until I saw it the other day.
I mean, it's crazy considering the fact that the world's got plenty of Muslims, and it's weird just how no one else has managed to reach these heights.
Yeah.
I think they've also got difficulties because they can't fight year round. Most of them won't fight during Ramadan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you also have difficulties in medications and stuff like that. They can't take every medicate. I mean, medicine they can do because religiously you're allowed to, but it's crazy considering.
Yeah. But either way, it's a massive fight. So I'm going Tony by sub.
Could be by TKO.